Welcome, everybody. Today, we are going to be taking a look at the astrology chart of King Charles. And I saw a tabloid headline recently that said that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were a source of worry or a source of frustration for King Charles. And I wanted to look at the astrology chart to see what kind of energies we can see there as far as what really worries King Charles. And surprisingly, it didn't necessarily agree with the article. So that's what we're going to be talking about. What is King Charles from the point of view of the astrology chart? What kind of things concerns him at this point? And it might not be what people think. It might not be Prince Harry as much as people want to think. For those of you that are new to my astrology channel, make sure that you like and subscribe. I practice Vedic sidereal astrology with my own interpretation, of course. And if you're interested in your own private astrology reading, check down below for details. I do offer uh, Calendly readings on Zoom. And then also, if you want a private recorded reading, which I do MP3 readings, you can check down below for details as well. And by the way, this astrology reading is for entertainment purposes only. All these statements about King Charles or Prince Harry or anybody else in the royal family, well, they're all speculation about the astrological energies in King Charles' chart. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at today. Let's go ahead and pull up the chart and we'll see, okay, what is worrying King Charles? Not necessarily right at this moment, but what in general can we see in the astrology chart is some of the life worries that we can see. Now, one of the things, the first thing we're going to look at is if the moon is afflicted in King Charles' astrology chart, and you'll notice it actually is. So, moon is over here in the 10th house over here. This is the 10th house. I don't know if you can see it, and it's with Rahu. That means the moon is being afflicted. So Rahu is considered a malefic planet. So just by looking at the house where moon is afflicted, we can get a sense of worry. And it's in the 10th house of Aries. So the 10th house is all about public reputation, public leadership, leadership responsibilities. These are something that's weighing on his mind very heavily according to the astrology chart. So really concerned about public responsibilities, doing things right for the public. Maybe he's concerned about his image. He wants to present the best image. He may actually want to live up to his mother, the queen, um, to her expectation of what he should be. So that's something to consider there with moon being afflicted in the 10th house. So that would be the first thing right off the bat. So people would say, "Oh, is he sitting there really stressed about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle?" Well, firstly, he's mostly concerned about this, his public responsibility. So, this might be this issue with Prince Harry or Meghan Markle might be more of a side issue, but there is something within that, and we'll talk about it. Meghan Markle's actually within his astrology chart, and she's a little bit of a worry. So we'll talk about that in a moment. The other source of worry that we can see is we can count 6 houses from moon. All right. A source of worry here would be the third house over here, Virgo, would be his siblings. So a heavy source of worry would be siblings. Um, and we know some things that happen with this, especially younger siblings. Well, he's the oldest, right? Or I'm forgetting the lineup there, but he's definitely worried about his siblings, and they do cause him a lot of emotional because 6 for moon shows what kind of gets us upset or what kind of arouses the emotions, so to speak, or where we feel like we don't have a lot of control. We wish we could control more, but it's just kind of a difficult situation. Also, with Venus being there, this could be romance in general. So, romance in general throughout his life, not necessarily with Queen Camilla, but it could have brought some pain. Venus typically represents the first spouse. So the first spouse, it could have definitely been a difficult situation with the first spouse because that's what typically what Venus represents in an astrology chart. Let us see what else bothers or is a source of a sore spot, maybe for King Charles, is going to be where Saturn is in the astrology chart. And let me number the houses from Saturn so we can kind of get an idea of the aspects here. So the Saturn aspects, it aspects three houses from itself. It aspects seven houses from itself, and then it aspects 10 houses from itself. So Saturn in the second house is going to show his family of origin could have been a sore spot. Growing up as a child could have been a really difficult kind of emotional situation. He could have lacked, especially with Saturn in the second house, maybe lacked the validation that he would have liked. So, for example, even though he's was essentially born to be king, he might have had a lot of heavy expectations placed on him. For example, there's a lot of teachers and mentors out there that kind of believe in this tough love kind of approach. And that might have been actually the case with Saturn in the second house. Kind of this tough love. We got to teach you through all this. We got to make you tough. But it wasn't necessarily from maybe King Charles's point of view required. Okay. The tough love approach doesn't necessarily work for everybody. Some people need a little bit more just validation, even though sometimes people think that there's this approach that's kind of like this one size fits all. Sometimes it doesn't work that way. So there is some difficulty there. Family of origin, definitely there's and not only could there be kind of like some difficulties from back in the growing up, his formative years, but it also could be that he's also worried with Saturn in the second house of just maintaining the dignity of the family legacy, because that's what second house is. It's like your family legacy. What is your family like? What is it leaving for the world? So there's a real sense of responsibility regarding that. Now the aspect to the fourth house, there's a lot going on there. Aspect to the fourth house, to the sun there. So the parents were definitely emotionally were very important in the King Charles and how he developed. Extremely important. Sometimes maybe he didn't get the validation he may have liked because sun is being afflicted and the fourth house represents mother, and then mother's being afflicted over here. Okay. And it could be it again something like they were public figures, they had a lot of responsibility. I mean, if we think about it, how much attention would you get if you had parents that were constantly going on state trips or having state dinners, or it might not be, sometimes you might not get as much attention as you would like, so that could be part of it as well. Now let's look at the other sources of worry. Okay, so we saw there was some difficulty there. Also friendships, by the way, because 11th house is being afflicted there. So friendships could have been a source of worry, just making friends, maintaining friends. There's no planets there, but kind of in a general sense, just finding the right group to hang out with. When Saturn aspects the 11th house, usually it represents only having like a really small group of friends that you trust, that you work with. Okay, let's talk about the Meghan Markle situation, because I do feel like Meghan in particular may be a source of consternation or a source of worry. Now, I'm not getting that much for Prince Harry, and let me show you who Prince William is represented, how he's represented, and then how Prince Harry is represented. So Prince William would be the fifth house there. Now, Mars doesn't necessarily mean worry. Mars just means like someone extremely active, competitive. Okay, it doesn't necessarily mean you're worried about. So just so you know, this is Prince William. So very active, very outgoing. And then the next house that would represent the second child would be Prince Harry, the seventh house. You notice there's no planets there. It's not being aspected by Mars or Saturn. So there's really not this huge level of the worry that I feel like I see in the astrology chart. Now the Lord is Saturn. It's in the second house. There might be a low level of worry. It could be, for example, like it's not that Prince Harry he's worried about Prince Harry. Maybe it's just seen as like a minor situation that he's got to deal with, but not it's like this huge worry that the tabloid article was making out to be. Now, Meghan Markle is a little bit more of a worry according to the astrology chart because from Prince Harry, what we can do is we can count 7 houses from where Prince Harry is, and we get where Meghan Markle is. She's represented by the sign of Cancer, and the Lord of Cancer is the moon. Okay, so that's what I want to bring up. There's no planets there, okay, but the Lord is the moon and it's afflicted by Rahu. Okay. So the reason why there could be a source of worry there, what Rahu could represent is something disruptive. For example, he may not know what the next move is going to be. He's a little bit worried. Maybe Meghan Markle's seen a little bit of like impulsive or somebody who like does really big moves, okay, really shakes the boat, really rocks the boat. So there could be a worry there, okay. It could be that he's worried that she's influencing Prince Harry, because remember, again, I don't see this huge worry there for Prince Harry. It could be mean he's more worried about the effect that Meghan Markle is going to have, because maybe he's seeing her as more of the issue. So the article, I would say, is half true in that he's worried about the couple as a whole because of Meghan, according to the astrology chart. So that's what I see. I feel like there is some truth to that, but it's not entirely true. When we looked at Prince Harry's astrology chart, we noticed even Prince Harry's astrology chart doesn't show this big negativity towards his father. It's almost like on a very basic level, they both love and admire each other, but there's these other circumstances at play. Okay. But on a personal level, it might be that King Charles is trying to navigate as best he can. He knows he's married to this, Meghan Markle, and then he has advisors around him that are advising him what to do, how to keep the royal family, how they maintain the dignity, all those things. So it's kind of like all this political dance that essentially everyone's playing. So let me know what you all think about this situation. Comment down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like it. Make sure you comment. Take care, and I'll see you all in the next video.